it. Good morning, doctor.
It bores me too, Steph, really, actually.
So wow, we have a lot going on. So today is the day we might get the vaccine. Can you explain to us? Because I know other people have talked about this, doc. So this is actually an emergency authorization, right? So,
Yeah,
which is the same thing hydroxychloroquine got, right? Because we are in an
that's right.
emergency. But
Yeah,
obviously, yesterday the news was out of England was people with significant history of allergic reaction should not be given the Pfizer
yeah,
vaccine.
yeah, yeah.
Authorities in the UK said after two healthcare workers had symptoms after receiving the shot the day before. So tell us what all this means.
Well, first of all, let me say something about the emergency use. It's called Emergency Use Authorization,
Hmm.
EUA. And it only is supposed to be used in very urgent, obviously emergency situations, because normally the FDA process for reviewing and approving a new medication, a new device, a new vaccine takes a while. It takes a long time because the agency, the FDA, does very thorough investigations on its own. In the situation with an EUA, it's a very abbreviated process. And it really is using mostly information that is derived from the manufacturer. So Pfizer
From the
says,
press
here's
release from the
Hmm.
drug company, correct?
exactly, which nobody's entirely comfortable with for obvious reasons, and that's why I mean a lot of things have been getting EUAs lately, including everything from masks and the new ventilators and so on to the vaccine.
And
And
can I
yeah,
real quick, Doc? Because I think you were the one that told us, like, for instance, this is why you were saying a lot of these rapid tests are not reliable because
yeah,
I
exactly.
think the Trump administration screwed up so much in terms of the testing and everything that then they tried to rush things through, right? And yeah, but go ahead.
Exactly what happened, Steph. No, this is exactly what happened, and that's the problem is you don't want to rush things, even though you may need them, and then end up with a major problem that you have to retract approval from and everything. That's a big mess because you may have already given a lot of people the drug or the vaccine that got emergency use authorization. It turns out when they really did studies and we use it in a lot of people, there were problems that we didn't anticipate, like the allergic reactions that Pfizer was reporting. And by the way, these are not just rashes they were reporting.
Right.
It's anaphylactic type of reactions,
Hmm.
which means a severe total body reaction, which can be really pretty dangerous. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't. It would not inhibit me from getting the vaccine, which I really would like to get.
I, I mean,
But I think there's a lot of people with allergies out there on
well, I
this.
was just going to ask though, Doc. A lot of us have allergies. I mean, I have environmental allergies, but that's not
Yeah,
what they're
yeah,
talking about? Because I mean, they're saying people with significant allergic reaction to a vaccine, medicine, or food, such as
yeah.
people that carry the auto injectors
Yeah, the
for
The
EpiPens.
yeah.
epinephrine injectors, right? Yep.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. What about some of us that just have environmental allergies? That's not the same thing,
I
right?
so far there's no reason to believe that if you have hay fever or if
Yeah.
you allergic to dust or cats or something, there's no reason to think that you would be in danger getting the vaccine. However, if I did have if I had a really severe reaction to cats or dogs and I got hives and whatever, I would have second thoughts about getting the vaccine at the moment. Uh, but certainly, if I had to be carrying an EpiPen with me, that would be, an emergency life saving medication, then I actually wouldn't take it at that point, at
Yeah.
this point.
Well, one vaccine expert in this article, doctor said that people should realize there are immediate treatments for allergic reaction. He said, warning that reports of allergic reactions will only serve as yet another way to scare people. I mean, you and I've talked about this, and because I happen to know a couple of anti-vaxxers, that is another fear,
Sure.
isn't it? That people, I mean, you saw this poor 90-year-old woman in the UK that was the first one that got the vaccine there. You saw her in the Christmas
Yeah.
sweater. It was a cute
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
sweater.
Yeah.
She okay, so she's now already been the subject of anti-vaccine conspiracy theorists targeting her, some suggesting she doesn't even exist. One person said she died in 2008. I mean, here we go, right, with the craziness.
Listen, I don't. This is a whole. Well, first of all, let's just say about the anti-vaxxers, this is going to be the biggest stumbling block that we have in order to, in terms of trying to get everybody vaccinated, so we get herd immunity, so
Hmm.
it protects the whole population. The anti-vaxxer movement is just going to pick up strength and continue to grow as we get more and more into the vaccination of the whole population. So when we get a blip like this situation with the allergic reactions in the UK, that just adds fuel to their fire. And I get totally what this doc was saying. On the other hand, we have to be honest. If in fact this could cause an anaphylactic or a complete body reaction to the vaccine, we're obligated to get that out there. So it becomes a very fine line to cross there. I mean, to walk and to make sure that we're giving proper information without scaring people,
Well,
or
so
we're putting it in context.
so what's the process, Doc? If it gets emergency
Yeah,
authorization today, is there a further process where we study data more, where it's a fuller
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
authorization, and then when is that?
well, it won't stop. So this is, in essence, the people that are lined up now to get the vaccine, not part of the study, but they in effect become part of the study because they're going to be tracked very, very closely. And you'll see when in the documents you have to sign to give approval to get the vaccine, there'll be all kinds of conditions of what to report and where to report it to, and so on. So we're really in, usually we end at phase 3 in the human trials. The after the emergency use authorization, we're actually in a phase 4, where we're looking at how the general public is reacting to the vaccination. So the studies continue as they should.
Yeah. You tweeted the coronavirus vaccine is promising news. However, the average person in the U.S. will not be vaccinated until at least the middle of 2021. Until then, we can't take our foot off the gas with mask wearing and other social distancing measures. I know you and I have the same feeling about the Trump administration, but
Mhm.
can you explain them turning down the Pfizer vaccine? I mean, knowing his ego, we keep saying it must be because they said we don't want to be part of Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah,
That he said no when they offered when they said no to him. He said no to them and they also offered multiple times
yeah.
more of the Pfizer vaccine, and he said no. So now they're committed to other countries. I mean, and so isn't that going to be part of it about how long it's going to take us to get vaccinated and the amount of vaccine?
Yeah. So, for number one, there's going to be more than Pfizer.
Yeah.
We know there's going to be Pfizer. There's going to be Moderna.
Right.
There's going to be the AstraZeneca vaccine. There's going to be a vaccine from Johnson and Johnson. So there's going to be multiple companies
Right.
that are producing the vaccine. So
Mhm.
we'll have a lot of places to go. I think, I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to have, certainly in the middle of the country, in rural areas and congested urban areas, we're going to have difficulty with the cold chain necessity for keeping things at this really, really deep freeze with Pfizer, and especially Pfizer. So we'll see what happens with that. But in terms of what Trump did or didn't do, it is so obscure. It is so non-transparent. What happened? Who said what to whom? I heard reports that we actually already had enough vaccine ordered, and we were getting pressure from Pfizer. Who the hell knows with the Trump administration what
Yeah.
the actual truth is? I use Trump and truth in the same sentence. Did
Yeah.
you notice
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
So,
because I
yeah,
heard another expert say the same thing happened with Regeneron. Well, Rudy Giuliani just said I got Regeneron. Well, not everybody can get that. I guess the president's
no,
buddies can, but
yeah,
another expert was saying they missed the window on that and didn't, because they were so
yeah,
focused on hydroxychloroquine, they didn't order enough Regeneron, and now it'll be till next summer, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's hard to imagine them being able to screw this up any more ways than they already have. And what is your
Look,
thought on what Biden has to do to unscrew this? That's a medical
well,
term.
yeah. I'm not commenting, Travis, on that. But anyway, yeah. So here's the thing about this. If uh, how many days we have left? 39, 40. How many
40,
days?
40.
40. Yeah,
Yes.
40 days left. So yes, there are things that could be screwed up, but I think at the end of the day, we have to assume that he's gonna be foot dragging, screwing things up as much as possible. He clearly now wants to make it as difficult as possible for there to be a smooth transition with Biden Harris. That said, I think one of the first jobs that the Biden Harris team is going to have is to restore credibility of government, to get people to actually believe what experts are saying, and to know that the White House, when Biden or Harris they're speaking pumped up by real information from real scientists.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to take time. That's not going to change overnight. So damage has been done by Trump and company. That's going to be really hard to reverse, Stephanie, and that's what we're going to have to. But this is what
Yeah.
Biden's going to have to do, right?
You tweeted about this press conference. You said POTUS in mental health free fall. He needs a psychiatrist, not just a lawyer. Unless he tries to do something dangerous, and he might, the media must turn away. No covering rants and conspiracies. Even his supporters must get it by now. I thought I read this wrong, Doctor. Did you catch this part? He talked about the rising number. Someone asked him about the rising number of COVID cases. And he said, that's a terrific development. I was like, did he hear the question?
God.
He said, I hear we're close to 15%. I'm hearing that, and that's terrific. He said of the percentage of Americans who've contracted COVID. He appeared to be referencing the increased likelihood that rising infection rate would bring the country closer to so-called herd immunity, which would stop the virus from spreading because there would be no potential carriers. Obviously, infectious disease experts like yourself say the infection rate would have to be above 70%. For herd immunity to take hold. If that, how many people would be dead at 70%?
It's unconscionable. This reminds me, Stephanie. I think I really wish we could just turn off the switch and not have any coverage anymore of Donald Trump.
Yes.
He has nothing useful to say. He's a full-blown conspiracist himself and a liar. And what a combo that is. And I think it'd be great if we could just get the entire media all at once, no more coverage.
Yes.
Because it couldn't get any worse.
It's either dangerous medical misinformation that will kill people, or it is sedition. It is, I won the election and we're going to we're going to overturn it. I mean, there is nothing he says that is not either inciting violence, promoting more deaths, with dangerous misinformation. You're absolutely right, Doc. It is time to turn away.
I mean, Karen Doom says, isn't he a traitor?
Yes.
That's what she said. He's a traitor by stirring this kind of unrest. God knows what he's setting up after Biden gets inaugurated. And, we're dealing with a very, very dangerous guy. And it's not just the danger of the vaccine issues or the COVID-19. It's the danger of stirring up serious civil unrest.
Yeah.
And how we're going to track that and control it is
in the middle of a pandemic. Let's get to your most important tweet. Now, after promising us Joan Baez for happy hour, your good friend, you also just tweeted, it's been a huge year for SHARE. I'm glad to be part of SHARE Cares, which has provided money for underserved communities in need of coronavirus supplies and testing resources. I feel like the only way to make it up to us that you have not gotten Joan Baez booked is
SHARE.
a double. Yes. What, is that too much to ask? What, you're friends with everybody.
No, listen.
She can't just help elephants. SHARE has got to help people that work in their basement.
Nothing you ask is too much to ask. Let's just start with that. I can't even imagine what it would be.
Dr. Doom does. He calls me back at home at like 11 o'clock at night. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So my desire to help you get those people is unbounded.
Yes.
There's no limit to it.
Yes.
Even if Travis said, don't do it, I wouldn't listen to him.
Yeah. Well, I know. Travis always would say, don't get us SHARE. That's a terrible
we don't
booking.
Want SHARE, we don't want Joan. We don't want these people. No. But no, I would just ignore him.
Okay. Thank
you,
Doctor. All right. Love you, Dr. Doom. Bye. See you next week.
Love you too, guys. Bye, Chris,
Bye.
Travis, and Stephanie. See ya.
Stop.